sweets. Enjoy this.
Hey guys, remember in How Not to Brony 27 at the very end I talked about Spicy Demon and how she was alive? I kind of put it at the end because a lot of information was coming out. A lot of things were changing and I wanted to be fair to Spicy because presumably, for the most part, everything seemed to be on the level. In How Not to Brony 28, I talked about due to stress she might have faked her own death because she was overwhelmed and couldn't work on any of her commissions. And did my total best to handle the topic maturely, because cool person, rough time. But there but the grace of God go I. I put the second entry on Spicy Demon at the front, for the same reason I put the first at the back. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of uncertainty, this story has changed, but here's a brief 3 to 4 minute recording from Emerald Bolt on his customer experience with Spicy Demon. This was relatively brief, as possible. This is FNG Star here with Mentis Solgar. How do you say the name?
Soliloquy,
aka Emerald Bolt. I've been very, very kind and forgiving to Spicy Demon, but there's been some recent change of events. Hopefully, by the way, I hope this audio is taking. Emerald Bolt, you have some things to say, by all means.
Right, so I went through the motions. Right, so I got my money back, but the way she'd sent the money back to me, she didn't refund me through PayPal. She'd sent it as if she'd bought something off me, so via the purchases tab or whatever the hell it was. I'm not that familiar with PayPal. Anyway, and now that was fine. The issue was over. It's like, oh well, got my money back. I'll move on. I even told her, which I have copies for. I took print screens of everything, that I wouldn't think any ill of her. I wouldn't spread any bad words, nothing like that. If anyone wanted a commission, it's like, yeah, sure, I'll still chuck you name. 2 or 3 days after that, I get a notification from PayPal saying that somebody has claimed that you have failed to do such and such. I'm thinking, what the fuck is this? So I get on the PayPal and then I find out that Spicy has claimed that I have not given her some service, even though I never provide services. So I send a message straight to her. I don't go through PayPal. I tried to contact her directly on DeviantArt, and I said, what the hell's this? Is this some kind of misunderstanding? Did your bank send this through? Blah, 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 blah. I try to be polite and nice about it, thinking it's just an honest mistake. I don't receive any kind of reply. There's nothing. And then I file a counterclaim, I suppose, because I was like, I don't want to, lose $10, which is more to me than it is to everyone else because I use a different currency. So basically I go from there and I lose the claim because of the system is, there's no way I can really defend myself because of the way she's paid the money to me. So I'm kind of just stuck there losing out. On top of that, PayPal charges me $10 more US dollars for being fraudulent or something. I don't bloody know. So I had to end up paying that. So it ended up costing me about $26. But then I saw the post. I'm talking, Dad, just give us a minute. Then I saw the post on DA saying that she supposedly committed suicide, and my anger just went out the window. I'm thinking, oh well, I guess I can't really be vindictive of the dead. But then I saw your video saying she's alive, and then I was like, hold on, this sounds complete rubbish. So I decided to PM you yesterday about it, and that comes to this story. I mean, it sounds kind of far-fetched, but I can literally back up everything I have. I have the entire PM conversations of DA about me ordering the arts, and she would refund me. Entire conversations about all of the refunds and all that kind of stuff, and
I followed suit, and much like Tricky Fox, I have requested PayPal to refund the money I sent to Spicy for the commission. I feel everyone who might have paid Spicy for their work should know this, and should have the chance to recover what they're owed. I went from feeling that I handled a difficult matter maturely as possible, in a moment that could draw everyone together and how to handle things in a responsible and rough spot, and now I regretfully just feel like a sucker. Well, you got me. Now I'm going to take my money back. Now I'm going to point out that you've had more than enough time to take down that false death post, or contact anyone on Skype, Twitter, or other means. I'd like to apologize to anyone who is unable to regain the money that they've put up. If you need assistance with PayPal, contact me down below in the comments. I'm sorry I don't have a happy ending for this one, guys. Alright, that's enough of the downer crap. Blank Slate showed up in the comment section of How Not to Brony 28. Let's find out how he acts.
I was listening through some of these, and I'm pretty late to the party. You certainly caught me off guard, though I can't say my appearance on How Not to Brony is a total surprise. I totally understand how, due to that video's nature, someone could come to consider it as an egregious offense on my part, but from my perspective, it was just a notably longer recording and editing session than usual. A bunch of people were asking for it, and RaceBest was totally supportive when I spoke to him on YouTube and at BronyCon. Not saying I'm faultless, there's valid criticism to be made towards me, no doubt. Just that I disagree with the implication that the Bronies React commentary is an example that shines above the rest. Still, got a chuckle out of me.
Well, like I told Mr. Scorcher, if you're going to be reasonable about this, I sure don't have a lot to work with. It's a reaction to a reaction. As a stuffy analyst, I'd be remiss if I didn't raise an eye.
I get that, and it's hard to fault you. I myself see the absurdity in that statement, but I consider it to be a surface-level issue since the process on my end isn't altered. Heck, since it's longer, I wouldn't have much issue dropping it if I saw a general disinterest. I appreciate the calm response. It's certainly better than I can ask for from some people, and it's why I find myself drifting this way from time to time.
It was an off-the-cuff remark. There are certain styles of YouTube videos, see PewDiePie, that have been known to draw an eye roll now and again. I don't think you're a Nazi, nor him, just to be clear.
I think that's fair to say. I'm not one to blindly evangelize reaction videos. I have a distaste for certain practices people associate with reaction channels as much as the next guy. More perhaps because they help feed the stigma that wraps around me. And I understand, I've seen enough of your content to know you don't automatically jump onto these kinds of conclusions.
Do you see that? Someone who... My knee-jerk reaction, while I don't agree with Blank Slate's content, or to quote Jay Holler's self-immolating humor, what content? He seems like a really chill guy. I had not a poker chip napsy bug me to check out this YouTuber called H-Bomberman. H-Bomber Guy? Who covered you-know-who, and despite the clickbaity title, he summed up my extended thoughts on the topic. You should check this video out. I've yet to see the rest of the man's content, but by God, he's piqued my curiosity. In the meantime, here's a clip.
The reason why you know this is because that's all the media's ever acknowledged me for. For some reason, they don't report on the inherent worth and value of my internet videos where I pretend to be scared by video games. In 2013, someone wrote an article about what it might mean that I'm the most popular thing on YouTube. And because I'm a healthy person, based on that one article, I concluded that the entire media hates me and also just the concept of internet personalities. I'm just one guy. There's no producer. There's no writer. Please ignore the script I wrote for this video that you can fucking see in the reflection the entire goddamn time and that I'm clearly reading from.
Speaking of piquing my curiosity, your old friend and mine, Midnight Chimes, is back. Bad news? I want to play the whole video. Not going to, though. This video in question is called If You Have Nothing Negative to Say. At the title, I felt this irresistible pull to get into this video. Dear Midnight Chimes, you should make this a series. If You Have Nothing Negative to Say Volume 1, it could be a critique to damn near anything, and I'd be along for that ride. This doesn't just get a gold star, this gets a fridge covered and chopped full of gold stars. If I could physically make each of you watch this video, I would.
The scenario where a child has done a drawing and no matter how terrible it is, all the adults will tell them it is amazing. Well, some individuals never grow out of being that child, and at some point they need to be told that what they are doing is shit. I've had people say before that I just want to make others feel down about their work, and all I can reply to that is if you are making something cringeworthy and putting it out on a public platform, then yes, you probably should feel bad about it. You should be embarrassed and want to do better. If there is one thing and one thing only I can give MLP Melody Canvas credit for, it is that she at least took the feedback reasonably well. Indeed, another user commented on this. Sadly, it is true that many take criticism the wrong way. Instead of taking it on board, they dismiss it as needless negativity, or even worse, they treat it as a personal attack.
Dear Josh, you know what? Not yet. We'll get there. I want to build up to this one, but it is coming. Dear Lily, for a well-thought-out video that tackles some of the potential legal flubs on fair use, please head on down to Deckard Spade's channel. Everyone else who wants to watch Lily Pete get horribly misgendered, please head on down to Event Horizon's channel where he playfully says what Brony Buck is really thinking about Lily Pete, and doesn't quite have the courage to say out in public. And finally, if even after all of that you haven't gotten your whistle wet, head on down to Y2K Toon Critic's channel, where he put up a video about respecting artists' rights that has absolutely nothing to do with Lily Pete. I give you my no bullshit, guaranteed, game on. You remember Manga Common? Fun fact, he's dating Saphire Heart Song. Small world, isn't it?
You know, the irony here is, I remember when I did my Thoughts series a couple of years back. And I did mine on Lily. She liked it, and she asked if she could use it, and contacted me via PM and Skype. I gave her permission. She used the entire video that I made, including that part where I just had my griffin, looking at the less than flattering drawing that I had made. She didn't credit me. I asked in the comments if she could, and she did. So, yeah.
Friends and respect are hard won. I'd say in Manga Common's place, enemies and disrespect are hard won. Manga Common has sat down with both sides of the Alt-CC and the Neo-CC, that's the commentary committee, and tried to bring two people together, or get views if you're a cynical dick. He's been willing to work with all kinds of people, from myself to Brony, to Silverquill to Josh Scorcher, to Sweetie Bloom to Proto Mario. Well, you get the idea. This is a very welcoming, accepting individual. Maybe, if he's hinting that you're being a bit of a doof, you might want to consider that. Speaking of which, this is Finn. He left a comment. This is Lily Pete's golden boy. He came in 3rd place on Analysis Daily. He's well respected in every circle for his cheer and calm demeanor. I'm not going to pretend I find his body of work is the best, or that I aspire to capture what he does. But to quote someone else,
like the channel I'm showcasing, but here it's a certainty. You're gonna absolutely love Finn's work. He does the same thing that every other analyst does, but he goes about it with such joy and such energy that he's really one of a kind. Can I really recommend a channel based entirely on tone? Yeah, I can. The videos that lose me the most subscribers are the one where I sound the angriest and throw the most shade at other YouTubers. People do care about overall tone, and Finn is just great.
When he felt something was important, he didn't censor himself. When one offers respect, it's a continual process of holding that opinion of said person with some value, not just cutting them off.
The real Dr. Wolf of the Brony fandom? That's incredibly flattering, dude. Thank you. And I'd have to agree that any situation can be solved if both sides talk things out and come to a decision. And I'm a firm believer in the fact that if both sides of the story are made clear to the two people having the argument, a solution can be found. Will it be difficult to find a solution that will 100% work for both sides? No. But that's what compromise is all about. I'm hoping that maybe Lily and Safi can get together and have a legit person-to-person talk about this. It would lead to a better outcome than simply just texting each other, or in some cases, ignoring communication altogether.
Dear Mr. Burner,
I'm a little confused. You say I have a job to do, and that I have Lily's ear. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Do you mean that she'll listen to me? Or that what I say she will see? Sorry, I'm a little confused. What exactly is the thing that only I can do? And what is it that you actually want me to do with that thing? I say thing a lot. Ringa, dinga, linga, shinga, shamalama ding dong.
Hi, diddly ho, neighbor.
Get lost, Flanders.
Okily dokily.
I was talking to a member of the PCP, that's the Procrastinators Podcast, who didn't wish to be directly identified, but mentioned that you blocked them so that you could have an argument with them by yourself, a la Lily Pete style. While said person said that you had every right, they found it particularly galling, played the self-victim card after ripping into them, and then attempted to have a conversation after having them cut off from it. This takes away from the credibility of the following statement. Here, there is no guarantee that she would even pay any of this any mind. Defense that I've seen in the comments from Digiteen99. That reminded me so dearly of the same defense that Josh gave to doing nothing in regards to Misanthropony. Might I remind people that Josh had blocked me on his main channel and Twitter, but feels it's fine coming here. And his responses have been engineered to be flippant or dismissive. Only this time I'm not bitching about Josh's content or how he's treated me, but simply his conduct and behavior or the lack of behavior that could have or still could be useful for someone who could use a kind word. Let's be completely honest. Had Josh shown up and said, first, #respect the artist, and said something polite about Saphire, or constructive critical feedback would have been as perfectly valid. If you wanted to play it super safe, you could have said something, it's regretful how this matter turned out, and I think that the following would be a more suitable path to proceed if I were dealing with a rational person. Now, I understand that we're not dealing with a rational person, but it would have been palatable to playing dumb on what might have been a viable option. I understand asking you to take a stance means consequences, and I understand sugary fluff like, there is no guarantee if. Well, there is no guarantee that you'll ever wake up in the morning. There is no guarantee that we'll cross the street safely. Politically saying that there is no guarantee is the polite way of saying, I don't want to. I figured I would translate that for you, so that there would be no confusion. Let me explain something to you. This is Brony. He ran Cat Avenger out of the Brony fandom.
Probably the most irksome section I'm going to talk about, because this is something relevant, is Cat Avenger. Yeah, this is, obviously you can tell from me, a painful one, and for a lot of people. Cat Avenger, Feline Ascension, Cleline Feline, whatever the fuck you want to remember her by. My ex-girlfriend was a bad case, to say the least.
Looking at his face, listening to his voice, sickened me to my very soul. I did not enjoy talking about him or watching his video piece by piece and breaking it down on why he is an utter garbage human being. Doing the right thing is often unpleasant. You told me yourself when you need advice, you generally seek out the advice of people like Dr. Wolf or Silver Quill and the like on what to do in situations like these. Number 1. When, if ever, has Dr. Wolf handled a situation like this hands-on? Number 2. The advice that you will get from Silver Quill, or say Dr. Wolf, will no doubt keep you safe. My problem with this is I doubt either of these guys have greenlighted your first response when you had to defend yourself in Grows and Republicans. And no, I don't think you need to die because you're a Republican, Josh. I'm disappointed that you chose to abstain on the presidential portion of the voting ballot. When handled, 2 terrible choices. It's the decisions that we make that define our characters, and indecisions that make us look weak. Here, you're a Dynasty Warrior fan. Let me explain this in a way that you can understand. Do you want to be Wan Shao? Do you want to be seen as someone weak and indecisive? Life is a series of struggles and pushbacks of ideals, philosophies, and perceptions. Sometimes there's a happy ending and sometimes there's not. I can't definitively tell you this will or won't work any more than I can tell you America itself will prosper or fall in the next 4 years. What I can tell you is doing nothing is never the right answer. You yourself have stated that you found the most destructive thing on the show was that when it gave kids a bad moral.
Someone recently brought a criticism to my attention that I mulled over a bit because, they kinda had a point. Anyone who knows me knows that one of the biggest factors in my enjoyment of an episode is how it handles the Aesop of the day. Around, children, today we're going to be talking about morality.
Josh is telling the fans right now, it's alright to turn your back and walk away when people are trying to do the right thing. If you're feeling, I'm doing it wrong, then you take the lead. You want some marine logic? Lead, follow, or get the fuck out of the way. Oh yeah, just in case you missed it, Saphire Heart Song is Manga Comment's girlfriend. That should have been more than enough for you to have helped out, but I'm long-winded, so yeah. Oh right, I forgot to mention what you could do. Well, podcasts, for one, depending on how much editing you do. I put 6 to 7 hours on the more longer ones. Plus I buy a thumbnail somewhere between $30 and $60 on the ones I really want to put the time into. But that's just me. You could just record it and throw up a standard thumbnail. It could be done the same day. You could stream a podcast for a half hour to an hour. You could nab Finn, Misanthropony, Geeky Steven, and if you're feeling really adventurous, Britney Pony. The 4 people Lily Pete put over in Good Stuff. As influential in the analysis and now the art community, ask a series of topics, one being how to handle fandom drama. And another potentially could be crediting artists, dealing with fans. Why or why not they like your work or your singing voice. I mean, you're gonna have to throw some wacky Josh Scorcher shit in there. But that would take 30 minutes to an hour to record, and as little as an hour to upload and tag. I mean, you're not going to timestamp it like I do, and even if you did, you could just timestamp the section about crediting artists. Oh, and by the way, Britney Pony could use some exposure. She's in kind of a bad spot now, and her rates are super cheap, her work is super affordable, and you could plug her in a stream or something. I mean, even if you tell me to drop dead on everything else, this would be a super nice gesture. That and since her boyfriend is Watch Pony, I mean, who knows? Maybe he'll throw a little publicity your way. You never know. Hell, it's not bad advice. Finn is well behaved as they come. I'd argue a little too nice. Geeky Steven has some experience podcasting. Miss Anthropony has been on 3 of my podcasts, and each time he went over 1,000 views. That's pretty darn remarkable for podcasts. It's all win, with a fairly strong payout, with a minimal of effort. Or if you wanted someone to edit the damn thing and buy you the thumbnail, I could. You wouldn't even have to credit me. I mean, I'm not going to stay quiet about it. But yeah, hell, you could get Toon Critic to put the thing together or host it. Meaning the only thing that you would have to do is lend your voice. You know what that means, Josh? I'm asking you to do KP's job, which is nothing. Hell, even if it doesn't work, you're only out a half hour of your time. If you keep it really tight. I know you have a half hour to spare.
Get off your ass. That's really all it is. Get off your ass. I remember when I was editing for Taking Too Seriously, every now and again, when people knew I was editing, people would go, it's like, hey, when's the next video coming out? People think I had control of that. Because like, oh, hey, I'm the editor for Taking Too Seriously. Great. Hey, when's the next video coming out? When's the next video coming out? And then I think I took like a handful of different Tumblr posts back then, and I reiterated it a couple days ago, where it's like, look, I'm going to give you the honest truth. These things take me a day to make. If I had control of it, you would get a new Taking Too Seriously every day.
Just say those simple little words, Josh. I don't want to. Also, here's Geeky Steven reading off his tweet at Lily Pete on how he feels that went down.
I guess we're not going to be the adult in this. At FNGR, I was talking about Lily.
I mean, I can keep going, but this is G-rated baby steps. Well, okay, PG this time. Now hopefully, if we act quickly, we can get something done before it's too late.